Hi, and welcome to the Distinguished Twins podcast. I'm Kane.
I'm Professor Anderson, and as you can see, we have a special guest here. Her name is Rosie. Known Rosie for about,
4 years.
About 4 years now. We used to work together in academia. But Rosie has a special experience that we wanted to touch on. Earlier this week, we posted a video about eating better, right? Here comes the holidays. A lot of people are going to pig out and eat a lot of bad food, which is called good eating at a lot of places. But we certainly wanted to touch on, some of the effects of eating good and eating that bad food. So Rosie has an experience of switching up a diet and a lifestyle that has worked very well for her thus far. So I'll go ahead and pass it to Rosie and let her go ahead and introduce herself, and she'll share something about her experience with changing her diet and her lifestyle.
Hi, everyone. So again, my name is Rosie, and I recently turned vegan. And the reason behind that was back in May, I did my annual exam, and they did the blood testing and all that good stuff. And they figured out I figured out my liver enzymes were those of an alcoholic, and I don't drink. Secondly, my cholesterol levels was up the roof. I was pre-diabetic, and I also had high blood pressure. So as a 37-year-old woman, I said, I wonder what I can do to make myself feel better. And the doctors, she said, Rosie, you need to hold back, cut back on some of this stuff, some of this processed food, some of the fats. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do my own investigation. So let me figure out what I can do to fix myself.
Right.
And after watching numerous videos, I did watch a little bit of the Dr. Sebi's. Dr. Milton Mills is excellent. Dr. K, which he's also a vegan doctor. I followed a lot of their videos, and I said, you know what, one day to the next. I said, I'm done. I'm not going to eat meat anymore. I'm not going to do dairy anymore. And I want to see what my body does. So my initial 90 days was a raw vegan diet, which pretty much, if it wasn't raw and natural and plant-based, I could not eat it. So no cooked foods for 90 days. It was a complete detox. Only water and tea, so nothing outside of that. And after the 90 days was up, I did a follow-up exam with my doctor, and I reversed everything that was wrong with me. So my liver enzymes are back to normal. My cholesterol levels are normal. No longer pre-diabetic, and my blood pressure is normal as well.
Wow.
So when people say that, you need to take meds, you really don't. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's in my case. I didn't want to take meds my whole life, so I said I'm going to do something about it. On top of that, I did lose a total of 40 pounds. Not in necessarily the 90 days, but in the 90 days, I lost about 20. And I've been able to keep it off. So, and it's since May to now. How many months is that? Maybe 6, 7?
Yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah, about 6 months.
So 6 months. And
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you couple that with exercise, or it was just all about the diet?
I did initially, but then I got in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
In June, and I totaled my car. So my chiropractor said, Rosie, you cannot work out. I'm like, oh man. So I didn't work out for 3 months.
Wow.
So it was 100% diet based.
Oh, my God.
No exercise, just because of the car accident.
That's incredible, because I know a lot of people say, the whole vegan thing, they're like, well, maybe if I just start working out, I won't have to really change my diet much, but they don't realize that is the biggest part of health, is what you're putting in your body, right? And the exercise, obviously, how consistent your regimen is, it'll, improve your results. But, it's good to lose the weight and feel good on the inside, but you need the exercise also to be strong.
Yeah.
And, it helps also purge toxins as well. And I was reading a study actually yesterday where it said if you lift weights, it can increase your life expectancy by 46%.
46?
From lifting weights.
Wow.
You can reduce your chance of early death.
Wow.
That's
Yes.
insane. dang, that's
just from lifting
amazing
weights.
though.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and it makes sense to me because I've been in the whole fitness arena, but it makes sense because before our comfortable lifestyles with technology, manual labor was the norm.
Very true.
Yes,
right?
very
Very
true.
And so
true.
with us being so sedentary, sitting around all day,
Yeah.
technology, watching TV, obviously, everything is becoming so efficient where you press a button and it's done.
Yes.
So, and even from changing thermostat in your house, typically people get up and go,
Right.
turn it, now it's on your phone, right?
On the phone, you gotta
incredible.
do that.
Which is not a bad thing,
Incredible.
but, with that extra time, that technology allows us, I think people need to get active.
Absolutely.
And I think that just to piggyback on what you just said, the diet is 90%.
Yes.
I
Right.
absolutely agree.
You
Yes.
know,
It
and
really
so
is.
the fitness, because even for myself, we were just having that conversation about more so going from just terrible diet to a more alkaline based diet, right? And so even for me, I would be talking to my brother and I'm like, man, I went to the gym today. I haven't ran in forever.
Yep.
And I hit the treadmill and I just knock out 4 miles.
Yeah.
Like easily, right? And
Very
because
nice.
it's not like, my body is struggling or anything like that. And I couldn't believe it. And so, and I kept telling him like, man, I'm telling you, it's probably because of, the way I've done my diet or whatever.
Seriously.
Right. And so, with that being said, a lot of people will make these excuses as, well, I don't have time to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have time to go to the gym and so on and so forth, not understanding you can see the results that you want to see simply by changing your diet.
Absolutely.
And so for you, it was more so of a kind of like a scare factor. You know what I mean?
It was a
Like,
scare factor.
right. So you're like, whoa.
It was like, whoa, because both sides of my family have diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
So both grandmas had it. My dad, who's in heaven, had it, and a couple of other family members have it as well.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have diabetes. And that kind of scared me the most out of all the other things that was wrong with me. It was
Yes.
the diabetes part.
Wow.
And so that really caused me to just decide one
Of
day to the
course.
next, like, I'm going to do this.
It's amazing because I've seen the sayings on social media and it said, people say, well, it's, diabetes or whatever it runs in my family's in my genes. And it's like, no, bad eating runs in your family. Bad eating runs in your
Bad
genes.
eating.
You know,
Right.
so, and those type of things can of course, certainly carry over. But at the same time, you can do something to reduce it. Absolutely.
I'll ask. I know you mentioned Dr. Sebi, which is, I think a lot of people caught wind of him, and I know Nipsey was going to do a documentary on him before he, passed.
away.
But so I know you were speaking about inflammation, right? And I know Dr. Sebi spoke a lot about, alkalinic diets, reducing the inflammation in your body. Obviously, my brother spoke to it, 80-20. You can't just be fully alkalinic. You got to have some acidic foods in there. Yeah. But you spoke about, being hiking, hurting yourself, and tell us about that whole inflammation thing.
So I'm an avid hiker. I've been hiking for years, and once the chiropractor cleared me and was able to say, hey, you can start working out and stuff, I started, hiking. About, I want to say 2 weeks ago, I slipped and I fell, and I hurt my knee. Like, my kneecap literally hit a rock directly. It was so painful. I mean, I've fallen plenty of times,
Yeah.
but this time felt different. Like, it was like, I think I probably broke something.
Yeah.
It was really painful. So I just, after I fell, I kind of just stood there for a minute, actually maybe about 5. And I'm like, I still need to finish my hike. So I waited and
Dedicated.
Yeah.
I finished my hike, and I'm like, for sure, I'm going to have a really swollen knee tomorrow, and it's going to be horrible. And it did not swell up at all, guys. I iced it for a couple hours that night. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I don't know. I'm like, I'm just going to do this and see if it works. And the next morning, I was fine. I mean, it was bruised, and it did have like a little bit of a pain, but no swelling at all. So I haven't had no inflammation since I've done this diet at all.
No, I mean, I don't know why you say you shouldn't have put the ice on it. Ice is not bad.
But they told me I shouldn't have done 2 hours. They said 30
Not
minutes.
yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah,
2
yeah.
hours.
Okay, 2 hours, yes.
Okay.
Like,
You did
yeah.
2 hours straight.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Probably where the lingering pain came
But
from.
it was like a bag of peas. It wasn't really ice.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Did you have something, a buffer in between?
Yeah. I could
Okay.
tell.
Okay,
you're
yeah, not
good.
too bad. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
because I know in our days we used to, it was applying direct ice with,
yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
It was a
still
bag
do
of
that,
peanuts.
yeah.
exactly.
Bag
So that's not too bad. I'm
So
sure
you probably could have eaten them at that point.
exactly. It had to be thawed out in 2 hours. But,
Oh, right?
but no, that's cool because I know my brother and I, we've done our independent research with changing our diets and
Very
doing the
nice.
alkalinic thing,
Yeah.
reducing the inflammation in our bodies, and man, we haven't been sick.
Yeah, and reducing the mucus, right?
Yeah, the mucus in your body. 'Cause,
Right.
from what Dr. Sebi was saying, like all diseases start with mucus.
Exactly.
And
Absolutely.
if you can get that mucus and inflammation out of your body, you can pretty much stay healthy.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't gotten sick, a cold. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention completely is I was taking an allergy pill daily,
yeah.
and I haven't had a single allergy pill since I've done this diet.
Wow. You know what's crazy?
Not a
That's
single
amazing.
I just recently, I see, allergy season. Obviously, allergies just seem to get worse out here.
Oh, yeah.
I've never
Absolutely.
had, because I know they say it's, obviously the dust, but they bring in all this
Imported plants.
imported plants and trees.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep mixing, the pollens and everything. But I was, typically whenever, allergies, pick up, I'm definitely on a pill.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so, definitely, you know me.
Man.
Because I got hit pretty hard with like respiratory infections.
Oh, really?
Because I wouldn't take care of myself, but I didn't know I had allergies because I never had them.
Exactly, right?
And so I started doing the nasal spray, the pill, because it was getting pretty bad. But when I changed my diet,
Man.
obviously increased my water intake and, being out in the elements, running and things like that, I just have a higher immunity to it now.
Absolutely.
Like I can feel like my throat tickle like when it's bad.
Yeah.
But I'm like, don't take the pill.
Right.
Just keep drinking.
Yes.
Make sure I'm eating. My diet is good. And man, I've had less problems with my
Good for
allergies.
you.
It's
That's
crazy.
Amazing. And the unfortunate part is, of course, in America, we're in a consumer market,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And so, as you stated, it's not about the medication. You can actually reverse those effects without meds, right?
Yeah, a lot of them.
You know,
I mean,
right?
it happened to me. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I believe that, of course, the body, it's its own doctor, right?
Yes.
And so if we replenish the things that the body needs, then in many instances we can repair ourselves. But I think that is interesting because, as you stated, well, the pill, okay, I have allergies, so on and so forth. Yeah, but if you keep eating bad food,
Yes.
if you keep eating bad, poorly, then you're gonna have to take those pills or what have you. So I think that it's very interesting that in this country, and especially for the longest time, right, milk does the body good.
Oh,
It does not.
Right?
No.
Garbage, right?
it does some of the
doesn't.
worst things.
Right? And
Actually,
It's horrible.
Not to cut you off. We have friends that we know. I know his dad was a doctor.
Right.
And he's a successful businessman now. But his dad was a doctor, an orthopedic doctor, and he stressed this, man. Milk, he made him drink milk for breakfast, dinner. He like really stressed it.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really realize how harsh the effects of that could be
Right.
until he told me about his back was fused.
Oh,
Mind
My
you,
goodness.
he's only 2 or 3 years older than us. His back was fused.
Ouch.
All these bone problems.
wow.
Because I didn't know until I started working him out. I'm like, we're gonna do some core. And he like, yeah, my back. I'm like, what? And so
Yeah.
he started talking about the whole dairy thing.
Yeah.
And that's that's where the problems came from. It didn't
Ouch.
it didn't make his bones strong. It made
It
him
should
weaker.
not. Yeah.
Right? But with the dairy, and we spoke about red meat, the acidity that these things have in them. What people don't understand is your body is his own doctor.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so when you keep putting this stuff in it, whatever resources your body has to fight sicknesses,
Yes.
it's fighting your diet the entire time.
It's compromised.
Yes,
That's a
exactly.
great point.
Yeah.
That's why you're more susceptible to diseases at that point.
True.
Because
It's like
if you don't,
distracted.
if you
Right?
don't keep a clean environment,
Yeah.
then whenever something tries to invade the body, your body can't fight it because it's over here
Exactly.
fighting
It's fighting
steak you
the other.
So I want to ask you though, whenever you went cold turkey, you said raw vegan. Tell us, what would you eat daily? Like what would your daily diet look like?
Well, actually, I still eat is about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of berries every morning.
Okay.
So that's blackberry, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, cherries,
Yes.
Right.
anything.
Yes.
Right.
And It's delicious and it gives you a whole bunch of energy. I
Yes.
was telling these guys I don't drink any caffeine. This is all natural.
Right.
This is all water and tea and berries. So I have that and then for it's just salads, a lot of avocado and tons of vegetables. And so I didn't even have beans or anything, guys. During the
Really?
during the 3 months. It's only 3 months. After that, you can go back to
course.
eating, regular stuff that's not,
Yeah.
it can be cooked, but for the detox. So what it really did is it just cleans out your lymphatic system, right?
Right.
Your lymphatic system is like your sewer system in your body.
Right.
And once you do that, it's like your body is able to fight all the infections and all the bugs and the viruses and everything that's in your body. And it
Yes.
kind of releases them. So
Right.
those 90-day detox really, really helped me. And I feel amazing.
Wow. That is.
Yeah.
And I noticed on social media, and we noticed that you try to promote it.
I do.
And so
do.
tell us about that experience of trying to promote the vegan lifestyle. So what has that been like for you?
And there's tons of resistance out there. Let me tell you.
Yes.
And I understand people love their meat.
Right.
People love their milk and their cheese and their eggs and stuff like that. But it's what's causing you to be sick. So if you're sick, you should look into maybe let's hold off on some of these things and see
Yeah.
how the body reacts.
Just try it.
Just try it.
I know they
right.
say eggs, they're the number one food for that carries viruses.
Absolutely. Well, for what
Yes.
my research is Dr. Anthony Williams. He's not a doctor, but he's a medical medium. I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he's revolutionary. He has tons of followers, and he's the one who actually mentioned that back in the days when they first started creating viruses, the eggs was the food of the virus. So that's how they would multiply them is through eggs. So when people eat eggs, they're feeding the viruses in their body, and that's what's causing the viruses to never leave your body. It's because you keep feeding them.
Yeah.
Once you go into the plant-based diet, your immune system gets so crazy strong.
Right.
It starts fighting off all the bad things in your body, and it
Right.
just starts eliminating it little by little.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You spoke about I know we played professional sports, and our with professional athletes it's meat, they want you on those diets and to have for the protein and for your muscle.
Yeah.
You spoke about a documentary or a show,
It's the documentary, The Game Changers,
Yeah,
on
okay, Game
Netflix.
Changers, okay.
Correct.
and
Great segue.
you were giving us some specifics on that. Share that about the athletes and
So The Game Changers actually came out, I want to say 3-4 weeks ago. It's based on veganism and
Where can you
explains.
find it though? The
You
Game
said
Changer.
Netflix?
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
yeah,
on
yeah,
Netflix.
okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's on there. Tons of professional, athletes. You've got weightlifters. You've got Olympians.
martial artists.
You've got the Titans football. I think there's about 7 or 8 vegans in Titans right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they explain how plants give you energy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they give you enough protein. And it talks about, the male's sexual organ and
Yes.
how it's helped them and
Yeah,
right.
reverse ED and stuff. I mean, it's a great documentary. It has tons of great information.
Yeah.
So I do recommend it for people who are curious about it.
Yeah,
For
no,
sure.
it just kind of piqued my interest because I know I would have liked to have tried to
right?
play as a vegan,
Right.
because I don't know. We
We
felt pretty.
cramping problems. Right?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
cramping. I don't have any cramping or anything
See?
either, guys. It's
Isn't that amazing?
crazy.
Because we had the inflammation. We were puffy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right. We weren't as lean as we'd like to be.
And we were consuming dairy because we love.
Yeah, we did. And the thing about it was, you go to practice every single day, right?
Yeah.
You would think we would have been a little leaner.
Yeah.
But we were kind of bigger though.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we liked it,
Yeah,
Yeah,
we needed the size. We were pretty
somebody.
physical.
yeah, very physical. Yeah. But it's amazing,
Yeah.
what the changes that we could have seen. You know what I
Right.
mean? But of course, with that puffiness, you think it's just all muscle still.
Yeah.
Not really.
Until you look back, and
know.
you actually educate yourself on, actual fitness and diets and things like that. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll speak a little bit more about the veganism and we'll transition. But so at your age, I know you said you felt sick and then reversed this, and you say now you don't do coffee and a bunch of caffeine. Like, do you notice any like? Do you think it's like an anti-aging for you? Do you like
Wow.
energy-wise or looks as well?
I think so. You know what? People keep telling me you look so young, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm almost 40, kind of. I've got an 18-year-old son. It's like, how do you
Oh,
have an
wow.
18-year-old son? I mean,
my
I
gosh.
just,
Yeah.
I think so because I feel great. I've never felt better,
Right.
Ever.
Wow.
and
And I can say that, you know, whenever I went alkaline, I kept telling my brother, like, I feel incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
because again, it was in the process. Really, when I hit it really hard, was when I was studying for my comps, and I was like, I can't believe how I feel. Like my
Exactly.
mind was clear.
Yeah. He was
Yes.
telling me.
And I crushed my comps.
Yeah.
you know what I
telling
mean.
me
the
that.
mental clarity is just
Absolutely.
crazy.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
You know,
That's
you
when
get
you
to
start to
focus.
understand
Right?
the mind, the body, and the soul, like
Right.
being aligned and clarity.
Oh
And
my gosh.
that diet, man, it's everything.
Synchronicity. I mean, it's so important.
Yes.
It
And
really
you
is.
have no idea that, you know, my mom used to always say, garbage in, garbage out. So no matter what you're consuming, whether, you know, through hearing, visually, you know, eating, whatever
Yes.
it is, it all affects you. You know,
It really does.
that's amazing. It's amazing. So that is, that's a good.
And so I know you say you're an avid hiker as well.
Yeah.
So diet wise, I know you changed your eating, but did you start like with your mental clarity? Did you start like reading more, or did your like hobbies change besides?
Funny you say that. So as far as like research goes, I've spent, I want to even say hundreds of hours. 'Cause it's been
Right.
Yeah.
6 months and it's daily.
Yeah.
Daily, I'm a type of person that likes to learn something new every day.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, I have been definitely learning a lot more since. I've removed a lot of toxic people in my life just because once you're able to control your body and control what you eat,
Yes.
you don't want to be around toxicity anymore.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
So there's
a
people
great
that I felt that were toxic in my life, and I removed them from my life, and it was easy.
That's
It was like a
amazing.
one thing to the next,
Right?
one thing to the next. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're gone.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, that's good stuff.
It's absolutely, you just don't, you want the best for you.
There you go.
And I'm at the point in my life where I don't want anything that's not going to be good for me anymore.
Exactly.
Hey, I mean, that's awesome because I think one of the hardest things for anybody to do is to change your diet.
Yeah.
You know,
It
so
is.
we're
It's
not
so
saying
hard.
that it's easy.
Exactly.
We'll
It's
never say
not.
that it's easy. It's
Trust
not
me,
easy.
it's not.
No.
You know, but if you can actually make that sacrifice and that commitment to change your diet, I mean, everything else is just so much easier.
Yeah.
So
It
much
is.
easier.
It
Right?
is, yeah.
I mean, because that's a daily thing. It takes
is.
discipline, and you eat multiple times a day, so that's why it's not so easy, right?
Right.
It's a difference. Like, well, don't listen to this music, or
True.
don't watch this TV show. Like, you can
Exactly.
get up and go outside and not do that, but you have to eat.
You have to eat. That's
Have
a great point.
And, you
you
know-
become much more selective about everything in your life.
But I think for me, meat is more of an addiction. I feel meat and dairy.
True.
It's an
Yeah, I
addiction.
think so.
People are. It's
For our society, for sure.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And well, for the Hispanic folks over here. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
You gotta
oh, yeah.
have the red meat.
Yeah.
You gotta have that
crazy.
carne. Yeah.
It's funny because
The carne.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I take my oldest son. He was, you know, when he was born, we had him on a pretty bad diet. I would say just sugar, like with cornbread and meat
Right.
and things
Yeah.
like that. And he was sick a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he had a lot of mucus, and had to have a couple surgeries with him. And so my second son, well, and he's huge too. My oldest, he's huge.
And he's a big
yeah,
boy.
yeah, like
If you saw
size.
him, you probably think he's about 10 years old. He's
Yeah,
6.
he's 6,
Oh,
but
He
goodness.
is tall.
he's a big kid.
yeah, man.
But my baby boy, he,
Nice and lean.
my diet was different.
Yes.
And so he was eating the same diet,
Yes.
and I take him to the doctor, and his pediatrician's like, she's literally worried. She's like, "Are you feeding him?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, yeah, he eats great. He eats a lot. He's very lean, very strong, lots of energy."
Yes.
Even my big boy, we changed his diet as well, and he's, much better, doesn't get,
Good.
I can't remember last time I had to have him on antibiotics or anything,
Exactly.
actually. His
Right.
immune system is stronger.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
But she continues, is he having meats? I'm like, no, we don't do the meat thing,
Right.
or dairy. And she's like worried. And I'm like, it's amazing because she's a doctor.
Yes.
Right.
Right? And I'm like, and I love this lady. Like, I don't want to take my kids to anyone else, but she like looks at me as if I'm a bad father. Like,
All right.
why are you not giving him his dairy and why are you not giving him this and that? And I'm like, he doesn't need it. Like he's so my youngest, he maybe has had maybe 1 ear infection and he'll be 3 soon.
Oh, that's
That's it.
really good.
And
Very good.
his immune system is so much stronger than my oldest.
Oh.
He is incredible. I mean, and when I tell you, I guarantee you test him, he will test on the genius level. He is incredible.
Nice.
I mean, so I just, he's the baby out of the family, so I definitely want to see what he does. He is remarkable.
But isn't it crazy how some of these doctors are so old school?
Oh my gosh! I'm like,
Like, wait a minute.
Right.
I've been reading
But
the
look,
news.
and
Like,
she-
you guys, like, what's
she's a Latin woman, you know. So it's funny. You spoke about the meat, and we actually lived in a Latin community when we played football in Texas, and it was just
heavily.
hamburgers, barbecue spots everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like we never had seen that,
Right.
and it was amazing. But
Good food though.
it's funny that you spoke to that. But no, that like you said, that was good. Speaking about the food, and it's not easy.
It's not.
It really isn't easy.
But you have to reprogram yourself.
You have to.
Absolutely.
With a lot of the things that we've learned, we're unlearning and reprogramming ourselves with a lot of the truths being available now.
Yeah.
But anywho, with that being said, we're going to transition. Rosie is also a very experienced real estate agent.
Very successful.
Very successful as well.
Yes.
As you know, I like to speak about the whole business and entrepreneur thing. A lot of real estate agents can take on that entrepreneur mindset and path. So we're gonna, turn it, we'll transition to that part of Rosie. And so with that being said, Rosie, can you give us just a little background on your real estate, career path?
Sure. I actually started in February 2005. And I absolutely love it. I did get out of the business for a little bit when the market crashed. I had to. I just couldn't sustain myself.
Yeah.
I kept it active, but I did not. I was working in schools and universities.
Yeah.
But the reason why I got into real estate is pretty interesting. Well, it's actually kind of funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I bought my first house when I was 21, and my realtor at that time was not so great.
Oh.
My experience as a first-time home buyer was it was not the best.
Yeah.
He never answered his phone.
Yeah.
He only showed me like maybe 4 or 5 houses.
Wow.
He's like, okay, choose one, that kind of thing.
Wow.
And I wasn't really ready to choose any of the houses that he gave me, but I chose one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did not show up to my closing.
Oh.
And I believe he left my key under the mat. And, my son's dad at that time, I would complain so much about. I was like, how? But then I noticed how much he made in commissions. And I'm like, he did not earn that.
Yeah.
Right.
Based on his, what he did for me. I was like, no, there's no way.
Right.
But, my son's dad said, well, why don't you just get your license and stop complaining about it? I said, you know what? You're right.
Wow.
And literally a month later, I enrolled into school and I got my 90 hours in.
Wow.
And here I am.
Incredible, right?
So I do the complete opposite. So whatever my realtor did, I
Right.
don't do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great learning experience.
I know, right?
Absolutely. That's
I
why
mean, so
got into
you
the
should probably
business.
thank him.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right.
Right.
That was
Thank you.
motivation.
I know, right? Because you're like, I know what not to do.
Yeah, you can take a
I know
positive
what
out
not
of
to do. Right.
everything.
Yeah.
But so when you did that, what were you doing before you became a real estate agent?
I was actually in hotel management. I was in hotel for about 5 years at that point. I was the executive assistant.
Wow.
And what led me to get into real estate was the hotel at that time was going into new management, and they wanted me to become the general manager.
Oh, wow.
And to me, it was an honor. I was 21 years old, I think, 21 or 22 at the time. But they wanted to pay me half of what the general manager was making.
Negative.
And so I'm all about principle, guys.
There we go.
Darn right.
And I put in my 2-week notice that same day.
Oh,
Wow.
And
bottom line.
That.
And I jumped into real estate,
Yeah.
into what's called a 100% company, which is West USA.
wow.
And I did not have a tutor. I didn't have a mentor. I learned all on my own.
Wow.
Okay.
So I'm kind of proud of that.
should be.
First of all, kudos to you for
Thank you.
not taking
Thank
that
you.
disrespect.
I know.
I thought it was
Wow.
so disrespectful too,
Extremely
right?
disrespectful.
I
That,
didn't agree to that.
wow,
Yeah.
that's awful. But
Oh.
so you said 100% company. What is that?
That means that all brokerages offer different type of services, and when you're a 100% agent, that means that I don't require the broker to help me at all.
Okay.
So if it's like a 50-50 brokerage, that means the brokerage is going to help me 50% of the
Okay,
time. So they're
okay.
going to provide leads, they're going
Okay.
to pay for some of the fees, some of that kind of thing.
So you had to be with this company?
I did not. It was a choice of mine.
Okay. So what is their benefit of having you on their team if it's 100%?
There wasn't really one.
No.
No, you have to just pay a transaction. Like every house
Okay.
that you sell, you give them a transaction fee.
Okay.
But that's it.
But they didn't generate leads for you or
Nope.
anything? Nothing.
Nope. Everything was me.
I mean, now just from what I see from your personality, you're very strong, and you have this very sure mindset.
Right.
To jump into real estate, I know a lot of people, especially these days, everybody want to flip houses and
Oh yeah.
Airbnbs and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So was that scary for you saying, I'm not getting a paycheck, bi-weekly anymore. I'm gonna jump into this. Was it scary at the
It
time?
was very scary, guys.
Yeah.
I was used to hotel management was so comfortable for me.
yeah,
It was a
yeah.
for sure thing every 2 weeks getting
Yes.
paid.
There you go.
So I did not make a single dollar for months.
Wow.
Yeah, so in 2005, I got in February. I didn't make my first paycheck till July,
Oh my God.
but
Wow.
July to December, I made about 60,000.
Wow.
So that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah.
bad at
not
all.
On my
bad.
first year of real estate, I think that was pretty good.
That's
but
really
that's
good.
when the market was so high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I worked really hard for that.
They say, I know, I've heard, just whispers about possible recession coming up at some point. Is that true? Or have you looked into that?
I did look into it, and all the big fellas in Wall Street, they're all saying it's coming, but
Yeah.
it's not going to come as hard, I feel.
Yeah, they
Okay.
said a soft recession. or
It's
something.
going to
really?
be a soft recession, I heard.
So
and
how
I
does
don't
that
think,
impact the housing market? How do you think?
I think for Arizona, it's not going to impact much at all, just
Okay.
because from some statistics that I just read is, most people are Arizona is the number one place where people are moving to and relocating to, and
Yes.
Buckeye is
Yes.
actually the number one city in the whole United States of growth.
Wow.
So people are moving here. I don't feel that we're going to get the impact as much.
Right.
Well, there will be one maybe, but
Yeah.
not as hard as 2008.
Right.
That killed everyone.
Yeah, it did.
Some people.
Gosh, I remember
I hope it
riding
doesn't
out
happen.
here and you seeing houses that were half built
Oh my gosh.
and
yes.
they remain that way.
Yeah.
There was houses for like 25,000, guys. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
I hope it doesn't really go because people lose so much money.
Yeah, they do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember people were gutting all the copper out of the houses.
Yeah.
Remember
Yes.
that?
I mean,
yeah,
they
they
were
were stealing
taking-
the AC unit.
Right?
They were taking the landscaping, the rocks,
Yes.
I didn't see
everything.
that.
Yes.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
taking the turf, all the
I
grass.
mean,
It was,
that's Arizona. I mean, landscaping is huge.
yeah.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So whenever that hit, did you know it was coming or were you blindsided?
I was completely blindsided.
Wow.
I didn't know because I was young,
Yeah.
and I made a little bit of money, and
Yeah.
you just when you don't have money ever, because I grew up, pretty poor, and when you have money, it's like you feel that it's never gonna end.
There you go.
And then the recession, the whole thing happened, and it all went bye bye.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
You live and learn.
Exactly.
So now if it happens again, I'll be prepared.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So whenever it hit, obviously I know a lot of people were, blindsided and
Oh yeah.
so were you not able to sell anything at
Nope.
all?
Well, because I was 100%.
Yes.
I didn't know about teams back then, and if you were in a team, there was more support. And
Exactly.
Okay.
I was solo,
Yeah.
so had I known that back then, I probably wouldn't have ever left real estate. But I didn't know.
Yeah.
But so I know a few people who were, real estate agents at the time, and they
Yeah.
left and went into different fields as
Right.
well. But so the group, how does the group protect you at that point?
Well, usually they have like the main person,
Yeah.
the top of the group, and they provide the leads and the
Okay.
training and
Yes.
scripts and
Okay.
all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The moral support's there,
Okay.
Right.
and that's really important
Yeah.
for this type of, it's during recession time, because it's effort between the whole team, not just one person.
Yes.
Right.
And I didn't do that.
So you have roughly 15 years of experience?
It'll be 15 years in February, correct?
Okay. Now, with that being said, it's been all residential?
Yes, all residential. Very little bit of commercial.
Yeah?
But not enough to say that. I
Why
have.
why not commercial for you?
Not that I don't want to. I'm definitely looking into commercial. I would
Okay.
love to.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's piqued your interest?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But were you scared to move towards that, like to try to juggle them, or were you just
It's because residential is warm and fuzzy.
Yeah,
I love warm and fuzzy.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
love,
I
I
get it.
love looking at the kids just like choose a room.
Yeah.
Oh my god, there's just nothing like it, guys.
yeah?
Yeah.
And me, I'm not a salesperson. Like, I know people are like, oh, you're a realtor. I don't sell. I literally sit or stand in the kitchen and let my clients look at the house.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not the type of person to follow, and
No.
Right.
I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
you tell me which house you want for you and your family.
There you
There
go.
you go.
I'm
It'll-
just here to open the door.
yeah, it'll sell itself. you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I whenever my wife and I we bought our first home in Illinois, the realtor she was great,
Very
and
nice.
so it's funny when I hear about your experience. We were 23 whenever we bought, and I remember just one day, like, of course, you like, how does this process go? You know what I mean? Like, you really okay? You're gonna buy, and I remember just one day she was like, okay, tell me, go through and tell me all the houses you want to look at. We had like a list of like 11 houses. She was like, we're gonna go to all of these in one day. We're like, what? The craziest thing is that the house that we ended up buying, it was the second house that we looked at. So we went and drove around all day, looked at all these other houses, but it was like the second house that we looked at. Honestly, we didn't believe that we could get it because it was more of like a newer development.
Oh, gotcha.
And so we were like, we probably won't be able to, we won't be able to get this. We're young, whatever. And then we ended up getting it. So
Oh, very nice.
it's when you talk about the real estate experience, that personality is huge. So you don't walk around the house saying, hey, this is okay, it has this and all this. You let them look and choose, which is great. But your personality as well, I'm sure that
Yeah.
helps them to feel,
Yeah.
good about it. And of course, because you're not pressuring them into buying it. So
No, I don't like pressure just
right,
because.
you can't want to look strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there's some people out there, they're kind of the pressure.
Oh,
I don't.
yeah.
I tell my clients, you tell me when you're ready. You let me.
Yeah.
I work on your terms. You don't work on mine.
Yeah.
So I think that's
awesome.
important.
I like
I
that.
think so as well.
Yeah, I like that. When I was, in my entrepreneur days and selling, personal training, and it was like I was never the one to be like, yeah, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. I'm like, this is what I do. Are you with me or not?
That's that's how he was. I mean, heck of a trainer. I mean, definitely the best trainer I've ever known. And, I would just sit back and watch him because it wasn't really my thing. Of course I was athletic and I knew how to, stay in shape, but he had a passion for it. And he had
Yeah.
a true knack for it, a great trainer. And so I would just kind of sit back and like, why aren't you like, on it and pressing him? And he just knew his product was that good. So he would just sit back and like, either you with me or not. And people just kept coming and they kept coming. So he was highly
Yeah,
successful.
word of mouth was good.
Word of mouth was good.
And so you as an entrepreneur, you're marketing. How do you get your leads? Since
I know,
you're
right?
Independent.
Well, that's something we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
This year actually is 100% referral based. So all of my clients have been either previous clients or have been referred to a previous clients of mine. So
Wow.
I have not done any advertising. I did do a little bit of like marketing on Facebook and stuff, but
Yeah.
not paid marketing. It's
Yeah.
just me saying stuff.
Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah,
is
it's
nice.
100% referral as of right now. Next
Yeah.
year I might have to do a little bit more marketing. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what I'm going to do yet, but
So what was your marketing budget last year?
I was spending about $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And how did that work out for you?
Not as great as I thought. Not as great as I thought. Not as great as I wanted.
Yeah.
But you know what? Lesson learned, guys. That's
Yeah.
how I learn.
Yeah. So it's not necessary then to you?
Not if you have a good game
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You don't have a game plan to it, then no, it's not good.
No.
Yeah.
Not good. Yeah.
So, if you were fresh into being a real estate agent, what would you tell someone wanting to get into the game? What would you tell them to be successful?
It follow up. Follow up is where the money is, guys.
Yeah.
If you don't follow up, all your people are gonna go somewhere else.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, super important.
Man, because what does the follow-up do for, your clients?
It's like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Right.
Does
It
it,
just reminds them
yeah.
over and over again. People
Okay.
forget.
Yeah.
Does it? Do you think that they feel like you actually care?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like you
care.
call me because you care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you text me because you care, or you send me this Christmas card because you care,
Yeah.
Right.
which is what I'm gonna do. I always do. I send
Yeah.
them Christmas cards and stuff.
And I believe that you genuinely do care.
I do care.
Right.
It's like I want to see the babies. How big are the babies now,
Exactly.
guys? Like
Yeah.
did they choose the room? Like
Right.
the room that they said when we were looking at the house. Like
Right.
So
all that
that
stuff.
I would say that falls along the lines of customer service, right?
customer service is huge.
Yeah. It was-
Absolutely.
I was I actually had the pleasure of speaking to a college class recently.
Guest
about-
lecturer,
Guest lecturer.
Professor Anderson for a day.
It was a business class, and I touched on all different components of entrepreneurship with a business plan, and customer service was really a big one for me because they're young kids, and I had someone in there work for one of the most popular, two of the most popular fast food chains in the country,
Right.
and they're that popular because of their customer service.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember my first experience with my first gym. That was one of the first things I thought about was customer service, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to be present and be polite and follow up and show people that you care. Especially when it comes to fitness, it's such a personal and intimate thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
And they want to
really
make
is.
sure that you're, paying attention to them and that
Exactly.
you're not judging them and they're just not another person, right? So that's always been, at the forefront of my mind is customer service. And I'm glad you said follow up because, some people think that, the house, obviously I think the house can sell itself.
Yeah.
But when you have someone there, you feel that security.
Absolutely.
You don't want to feel like you're out there, and
Yeah.
and it's just like, as a personal trainer, you give someone a meal plan, and if you don't follow up with them, you don't know if they're following it.
That's true. You don't know if they're doing the work.
That's
You know,
true.
because, sometimes they're like, okay, yeah, I got a meal plan just like everybody else. But like, are you actually monitoring it? Are you going to modify it depending on, what they look like, what they're measuring in at and all their different rates, their BMI and all this stuff. But man, that's huge. Just that entrepreneur mindset. And I know we spoke about marketing, but in that, with the real estate plan, I know you said if the market crashes again, you're ready. Like, what's your mindset? Like, if it hits, like, I know you said you were blindsided last time. What's your escape plan?
I'm gonna join a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
That's what I'm gonna do.
There you go.
I
Join
ride solo. I do have my fantastic transaction coordinator. Her name is Stacy. She's been my day. Oh my God, I love Stacy. Stacy, I love you.
Cool.
She's helped me so much.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So she does a lot of the transactional work for me.
Okay.
Wow.
So I do more of the face-to-face kind of thing. I'm the one showing the houses. She's the one doing the paperwork. and stuff.
Okay.
Administrative, I got you.
Yeah.
And she was actually my client.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Guys, she was my
So
client.
she believed in you.
I know.
Let me really quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So she we're looking at houses and she was like, Rosie, how do you know that that's your house? It's like, you're gonna feel it the minute you walk in your house. You're gonna know that's your house. She's like, okay. And she was a little discouraged because we couldn't find it, and then
Yeah.
finally we found it. She's like, Rosie, this is it.
Yeah.
This is the house. And I get chills still.
Wow. Yeah.
This is the house. And I said, okay, let's do it. And
Yeah.
it was a little difficult. It was a really difficult transaction, but we got her the house.
Yeah.
And she was just on it. Like she kept me on my toes.
Yeah.
And I said, Stacy, I think, it looks like you really like real estate. She's like, Rosie, I love it. It's like,
Wow.
it drives me. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's do this. You get your license, you'll be my assistant. And
Wow.
she said, are you serious? I said, yeah.
Wow.
And she said, okay. And I didn't hear from her for a couple months. And I'm like, maybe she forgot about it. She gives me a call. She's like, Rosie, I passed my test.
Wow. Very good.
So that was
That is
actually,
great.
she started May of 2 years ago. So it's going to be 2 years March 2 years ago, she's been working with me. So
That's awesome.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
you give people opportunities and maybe they want it.
line.
And I didn't
Man.
know she wanted it and she wanted it. And she's
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
That is
She's
awesome.
amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was obviously meant to be.
It was meant to be. I love her so much.
With I'll ask you one last question about real estate. With the trend of flipping houses and Airbnbs, how do you feel about that?
I think there's a lot of competition right now, especially with the fix and flips.
Yes.
Yeah, my first experience with investors was back in 2005. There's some investors from California, and I helped them make tons of money.
Yeah.
But now it's a very saturated market. There's just so many investors out there, and they have cash. So it's so hard to compete with cash.
Right.
A lot of the first timers, they don't really have much capital to start with.
No.
So it's really hard to compete. But there is still money out there.
Yeah.
You
Right.
just got to find it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Especially out here. A lot of money.
Especially out here, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many licensed agents are in Arizona?
There's approximately 90,000 I read the last time.
90,000.
And not all of them are active,
Of
but
course. Yeah.
there's a lot of competition for sure.
If you had to guesstimate, about how many would you say were active? If you were just guessing.
Guessing, I would say about maybe 50, 60,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Yikes, that's
So-
still a lot.
It is a lot, yeah.
You have licensed agents, but say me, like I knew a guy previously that had a successful business and had lots of capital, and ended up buying about 20 houses at one point. Do you factor in those people as far as when they're with the whole real estate thing? I mean, I know they're not licensed, but just like the investors, people with capital going around buying these houses, they make it. Do you factor them when you say oversaturated? Is that a lot? Is there a lot of that going on out here?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
You've got these investors who are not licensed agents who are buying
Wow.
tons and dozens.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's going to be a yes.
Wow.
My gosh.
Yeah, I speak to people, because I talk about investments and
Yeah.
people say real estate, and I think it is great. You just have to find
amazing.
it. It is. It's amazing, but I think too many people try to jump in it with no perspective, though.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
think because so and so flipping houses, I'm gonna flip houses, and it's tougher, especially if you're gonna say own a house and you're gonna lease it, you're gonna rent it out. Like, how difficult that can be, right?
Absolutely. It was, yeah.
You can
You
have
don't-
issues with tenants all the
Oh
time.
my
Exactly.
gosh.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's, the worst
Sounds like
tenants
we
in
have
America. I
some
mean,
stories over
gosh. But I want to ask you, because I know we've touched on gentrification before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see gentrification occurring out here right now in the market?
Okay.
Look at this. She's like,
Come on.
I honestly don't even know how to answer that.
oh yeah.
I don't.
No.
Oh yeah. Because I know it's a sore subject.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a sore subject.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it going on. I know in certain areas, and it's my mechanic in his neighborhood. He's a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
In his neighborhood, his dad lives across the street. His uncle is down the street.
Yeah.
He owns his house here, and like the whole family is in the neighborhood. And he was just telling me about how, people are coming, they're offering like $30,000 for his house. And he's like, they're like, well, you guys are gonna have to go. And he's like, we're not going anywhere, so on and so forth. And I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna play out, and it's scary,
It is very scary.
It's scary.
People, they just need to be informed and know their rights.
That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
If something like that's happening, reach out to someone.
Yeah.
Talk to me. I'll help.
Yeah. I'm on the way. I'll
Sorry.
make sure I refer him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
nice plug right there.
I know, right?
I had to do it.
I like that. I like that. No,
I like that.
Yeah, plug away, but
Uh-huh.
no, that's cool. Yeah, I feel like you know, all the questions that I had were answered.
Yeah, certainly, definitely,
I mean, you're obviously extremely knowledgeable.
very.
Like I said, just wanted to touch on that entrepreneur. You know,
Absolutely.
Change your
Yeah.
diet today.
change your diet,
Today.
right? Today,
Because even daddy, right?
yeah, my father,
Yes.
he was experiencing health problems
Yes.
recently.
Yes.
You know, on these medications, and you know, he ended up, you know, changing his diet, and
He
he
dropped about what, 40 pounds?
about 40 pounds now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's
Congratulations to him.
yes,
Yes,
for
yes,
sure, and
thank
then
you.
he's continuing to go with that, and I, you know, just want him to stick to it. So
Yeah.
this is the encouragement, pops. You know, stick to it.
Yes,
No,
please
don't
do.
get-
Yes,
Give up.
Pops.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Stick to it.
You know, we need you, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, and everybody, you know, if you're experiencing health problems, try that diet first
Yeah.
before you go get a bunch of medications, because, you know, even though some of these medications can work, you know, we just don't know the long-term effects of a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And again, I think that does it actually fix the problem, or does it make you comfortable?
There you go.
with the problem.
It treats it, but it doesn't.
It masks
fix
it.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
It's,
right?
it's a basking tape.
Exactly.
Bottom line, right? You know,
Bottom
it's just
line.
like, you know, if something is bothering you, like say your shoulder, right? You're just taking painkillers. Okay, you're gonna get through it.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's not fixing
It's
the
not
problem.
fixing the problem,
That's it.
right.
So again, I mean, changing that diet up is huge.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, everybody talks about big pharma. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear that.
They
so
don't want
it's
to
like,
hear it.
you know, but it's on you. The onus is on you. Bottom line.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's on you.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And so you're hearing that from three, you know, individuals who have all personally
Yes.
taken that step to change our diets, because
incredible.
you know, I know my brother and I, we when we were younger, we didn't necessarily battle with weight gain, but we weren't, you know, the leanest kids.
No, we were
You know,
chubby.
We were, you know, we were
Yeah.
borderline husky chubby. You know?
Borderline.
You
I mean,
know.
if we didn't play football.
Yeah, it would have been bad for us, but we,
Yeah.
you know, we ate a lot of sugar, obviously a lot of processed foods, and
Exactly.
you know, you see Rosie. I know you knew Rosie 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Does she look different?
Absolutely. She
Yeah.
dropped a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But I mean, but she wasn't fat though.
Yeah, she
I was
carried
just
it.
thicker.
Yeah, you were thicker. Yeah. Yeah.
Add
Yeah.
40 pounds on me, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that is pretty funny though.
Yeah.
Right.
That she got up and did that. But that's correct. I didn't know you hiked that much though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do.
Where do you typically hike?
North Mountain.
North
That's
Mountain?
my favorites.
Yeah.
Paesta Peak and
Yeah.
Camelback.
Yeah.
Those are the three.
Sheesh.
I've been to all of those, and I like the, you know,
Yeah, I
Piesta
remember
Wah,
you, man.
whatever. Yeah.
Like, you were
At
in
first,
the
it
zone.
started out, I'm like, man, it's not even challenging. But then it got to some parts where I'm like, you know, actually using my hands. to climb.
Right.
I love South Mountain though. You know, I
Oh, I
like.
haven't done South Mountain in years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I like South Mountain.
I love it, man. I get to running out there, and it's just, I don't know. It's so many different trails, and it's obviously
It
the
is.
largest park
Yeah,
National-
city
park in the country.
Yeah.
So-
Is that right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
But
Yeah.
tons
Very
of
nice.
trails, and you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just right for me, because
I know, right?
you know, you go and then it can get flat, and then you go up, and it's a good challenge. But anywho, with that being said, you know, we got the knowledge on veganism.
Yes.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Man, and then I'll say it every time. Thanks for the support. We continue to get more and more support every week. You
Every
know,
week.
messages, you know,
Yes.
emails,
Uh-huh.
you know, weekly, daily. You know, thank you for the positive feedback. We're going to continue to do this. Try to spread information and let lovely people like Rosie share their
thank you.
stories.
Yeah.
and just to encourage you all. So if anyone has any questions, you can email us at distinguished.twins@gmail.com, or
Yes.
you know, reach out to our social media posts. So.
Yeah, I want to say hi again to my daughter Mia. She's a
Mia Santana,
faithful watcher.
our nephew Santana.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
yeah. I mean, I'll catch her late at night.
Yeah.
I think she manipulates a little bit.
Yeah.
Try to stay up a little later. Like, you're supposed to be in the bed. But I'm watching your podcast. All right, cool.
I'm like, okay, that's
I
stroke
know, right? Stroke the ego a little
my
bit.
ego a little bit.
Alright.
Thank you. You know, I'm running that game, but yeah,
Absolutely.
But yeah, with all being said, we want to say bye, everybody. Wave,
Bye.
bye, and we'll see you next time.